The results, it is 7 votes for Druid, 3 for Shaman, 2 for Warrior. So Druid will be the first run of the day. Let's go ahead and grab Malfurion here. And commence! Alright, starting off with either 3-drop that has been played against me a shockingly large number of times lately, considering how not very great it is. It's a 3-3 for 3, which isn't the end of the world, or we can go for Nourish some card draw. Let's go for Nourish. I do like playing Druid's slower style, so having the card draw is really great. Mustard Mitt voted twice the dream. Oh, you cheaters. Alright, we're going to go ahead and grab Wrath here. Removal is always nice. We're going to go ahead and lower the volume a bit. Now, here's an interesting pick. I think I don't want Frost Elemental. This is a card that is alright, but these are both very interesting role players. I mean, the Down-on Mage is great. Like Wrath and Swipe really both benefit tremendously from spell damage, and if you have spell damage, then Moonfire is actually playable. I'm not going to commit to this Down-on Mage, though. We'll wait for a Kobold Geomancer, and if I don't get any spell damage, it's not the end of the world. Let's take the Gnomish Inventor, so we're really, really good on card draw here. Okay, I think Savage Roar is the best of all these kind of situational cards. And here, I could go for the good 1-drop or Claw. 1-drops are really good for Druids, because Druids don't have any class-specific 1-drops that are any good, or at all. Yeah, Druids don't have any class-specific 1-drops. So Argent Squires and Worgen Infiltrators, the 2 good neutral 1-drops, are pretty slick. However, I'm not going to pass on a Claw. That's just really stellar. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like taking a Ravenhold Assassin as a Druid. I expect to have more endgame, but obviously the other cards are completely unplayable, so Ravenhold Assassin it shall be. Here we can take a really good 3-drop or a really good 5. I'm going to take the really good 5. It's taunting. It gives some reach potential with surprise damage. It's just so good. I will grab it there. Wild Growth is interesting, but I'm just going to take another Wrath. I like having lots of removal here. Okay, so here we'll pass on the odd kind of expensive removal and take a Scarlet Crusader. It's a really strong 3-drop, and I do need to get some minions at some point. Oh gosh. Well, the Demolisher is like shockingly not as bad as I think it is, because it does have 4 health, so people often have a hard time killing it, and if you don't kill it, then like it kind of wreaks havoc. However, I'll just take a bite here. So we have tons of removal. I assume the minions will be coming up soon. Alright, now, Kobold Geomancer does come up here, doesn't interact with Claw, doesn't interact with Savage Roar, and doesn't interact with Bite. So it's actually only working so far with Wrath. I don't think it's worth taking this over the Wolf, which provides a really useful ability. Okay, Soul the Forest. Enough of this, please. Do I take it? No, I don't have enough minions to make that worthwhile. This thing's terrible. We're taking another 5-drop. Okay, so this is a choice between some kind of quasi-removal or Golem. Now, the interesting thing is this Cobra, I mean, I've got a lot of removal already. Claw and Wrath and Savage Roar and Bite, but none of it is for, like, super big things. So even though the Golem might be nice to have for some reach, I will take the Cobra here to make sure that we have some outs against big stuff. Now, I need 2 drops. So I'm actually tempted by the River Crocolisk here because it would only be my second 2-mana creature. By contrast, I already have 2 3-mana creatures, so this would be tilting the balance in favor of 3-mana creatures. In fact, I'm actually going to take this. This may seem crazy, but just for curve reasons, to make sure I've got enough early plays to survive to the endgame, I will take the Crocolisk here. Alright, Mark of Nature is a fun card, certainly. Is it fun enough to warrant taking over the Shattered Sun Cleric? I don't think so. It's a tough call here. I could see it going both ways, but we're going to take the buffing card here. I just like buffs. Okay. I don't really feel tempted by this Cult Master much, because I already have Nourish and a Gnomish Inventor. The issue is that Fen Creeper is yet another 5-drop. Well, I guess it's only my 3rd one. Yeah, okay, we can take a Fen Creeper here. I don't need the card draw from the Cult Master. Well, this is interesting now. So the Keeper of the Grove obviously might seem like the pick, but with Savagery, I do have Claw and Bite to interact with it. So, like, this is more removal. However, I feel like I've got plenty of removal already. This is also removal, too, so I'll take the Keeper of the Grove, because I think it's the stronger card overall. I will take a 3rd Wrath, not so much because I want one, but because these other cards are unplayable garbage. Oh god. I don't want to take Gurubashi Berserker, this is trash. So Mark of the Wild is going to be our first buff. And okay, we have an interesting choice here. I could take the Ancient of Lore for some more card draw, or potentially health. I don't have any healing in this deck. Or we can do Force of Nature. Now, Force of Nature is interesting because it does work well with Savage Roar for a 14 damage combo, assuming, of course, that the opponent has no taunts. And it can be used as removal. The issue with Force of Nature is that I've played with it quite a bit, and as removal, it really comes up short. It's just very rare that that particular breakdown of 3/2/2s works out quite the way you want it to. So I have to choose carefully here. Ancient of Lore is very tempting. Alright, we'll take the Force of Nature. It fits into my curve better, and I do have the Savage Roar combo, but I could regret that. Okay, we're going to take Ironbark Protector guaranteed, for certain. Oh no, Ironbark versus Swipe. Well, I'm not going to pass on Swipe, obviously. You take the Swipe, and you obviously take the other Swipe, even though the Infiltrator might be nice. And Soul the Forest on turn 10 is a good combo with Force of Nature. You're not going to pass on a second Swipe, pretty much ever. Yeah, I could take the Taunter or the sturdier thing. Tough call. I will take the sturdy thing. I like things that are sturdy and don't die. We could take another wolf. Definitely take the wolf over a raid leader, like always. Sometimes you have to basically have at least 3 minions on the field for raid leader to be better. That's a tight fit. I mean, obviously with Force of Nature, raid leader's a bit better, but yeah. Mark of Nature though is a temptation just to give myself a bit more taunt. I mean, all I really have is the Druid of the Claw, the Fen Creeper, and Ironbarks, all very expensive things. No Sengens in this deck, and I passed on a Grizzly. So this is tempting. No, I'm going to take another creature. Let's stall out so that we can get to our Ironbark Assassin and whatnot. I don't think we need 3 wolves, so we'll take the Fairy Dragon there. Do you take the third swipe or this really nice fight? Yeah, we're going to take the third swipe. Okay, well, we got plenty of swipe at least, so that's good. Again, with the Mark of Nature, it can be used to support yourself. It can be used for 4 attack, to like 2 for 1 in a desperate situation, or to get yourself some reach. I'm just going to take the Farseer, though. It's a solid 3-drop. Healing is good. You know, it's just a style thing. I'm not just that big a fan of those buffs. 1, 2, 3, 4 2-drops is what we have, so I don't really need the Panther or the Ooze. The Power of the Wild is what I would take here, because it's good later on. But I'm happy just to grab another Claw for removal. Oh, wow, tough here between the Starfall and the Azure Drake. Well, with 3 swipes, I'm actually not that concerned about removal and mass removal. In fact, since I passed on a Dalaran Mage and on a Kobold Geomancer, getting some spell damage wouldn't be bad. I mean, it's expensive to play this in a swipe, but this is okay. Well, I'm going to throw this out there. I think this was a really fine deck. Maybe, you know, I'm just going to go like, 3 and 3, and we'll all laugh at how terrible my deck evaluation skills are, but it's got a tremendous amount of card draw. It's got card quality. It's very strong, almost like not a single bad card here. I mean, spoiler alert, yesterday I went very far with a Hunter deck that was running like no Unleash the Hounds. It had like a South Sea deckhand and no weapons. It had like one other piece of junk in there. I forget now what it was. And I got like super far. So like this deck with like all of its quality cards, I would be really shocked if it was like abysmally bad, because it just seems very strong to me. So we'll see. My last 2 times that I said I thought a deck was mediocre ended up like going super well. So surely now that I say that I think this deck is actually good, we will bow out at 2 wins. Kimoko says, as long as you get a swipe or 2, Druids do well in the arena. Yeah, for the first half of the draft, I didn't get any swipes, but then they just kind of poured in. Very happy to have 3 of them. It's a card I frequently pray for. Swipe just does everything. It's single target removal, it's mass removal, it gives you reach to go for the face. That card is too good. It probably, honestly, should be 5 mana, honestly. It should either be 5 mana or only 3 damage to the primary target, in my opinion. But, unless Druids become a real problem, I'm fine with Blizzard keeping it the way it is. Well, my opponent decides to trot out a 2-1. It's a tough call what you do here. I mean, if I had a 2-drop to play, then killing this would have stopped me from playing the 2-drop. However, of course, I didn't have a 2-drop to play, so I was delighted to just go up a card for free. On the other hand, what's she going to do? Is she going to play that thing later? It's not going to do anything later except give a creature +1 health. So I don't know. It's a tough call. She plays Mad Bomber, and it goes all in her face as if to punish her for playing with stupid cards. We have a choice here. We can either mostly waste the Battlecry of the Farseer or waste the Battlecry of the Shattered Sun Cleric. Let's keep the Shattered Sun Cleric around. That's fine. We'll get only 1 point of healing. So be it. It'll trade with the Mad Bomber, and then we can play the Shattered Sun Cleric, I guess. That kind of sucks, but might just have to waste this next turn. And then the Druid of the Claw will be a nice drop on turn 5. This is a very slow hand, actually. Very slow. This is awkward. So this is very awkward. Do I just swipe this guy? Nope. We're going to go ahead and be a little bold. We're going to play the Shattered Sun Cleric. I have like 2 Claws and 3 Wraths. Lots of ways of killing that thing, and of course I get none of that. I get the swipe. But I don't anticipate her being able to play too many cards here. I mean, if she plays 2 cards, this becomes a 4-4, but then it kills the Shattered Sun Cleric, drops to 4-1, and I play swipe and kill whatever else she played and finish this off. And in fact, she only has 1 card to play, it looks like, unless the other card is Mirror Image. Nope, she's just going to hit me in the face, which is fair. Alright, well, here... I don't want to wait any longer killing that questing adventurer, so let's go into bear form. Kill that off. And pass the turn. There's a small risk here. If she has polymorph or fireball, then of course I'll regret not killing the questing or the Acolyte of Pain with the Druid of the Claw, but I'm willing to take that risk in order to get a better creature. The 2 extra health makes a really huge difference. And if she does kill this with polymorph or whatever, then it's her whole turn. Okay, she doesn't actually have it though. She just has a Gurubashi Berserker. Notice how unimpressive this card is. It's only hitting for 2 power, and you spent 5 mana getting it out there. Alright. I can hit this for 4, and then finish it off with swipe, but the issue there is that then... the issue there is that if I do that, then the Acolyte's actually drawing her some serious cartage. I'm not that thrilled about that. Play Force of Nature. Notice how Force of Nature doesn't really work very effectively here, though, like, at all. I could use Wrath to finish this off. Attack plus a Wrath. Then I've got 4 mana left over, which is awkward because I can't do anything with 4 mana except swipe, which I don't need to do if I'm killing this with a Wrath. Oh, jeez, this is just really awkward. I got a very slow draw here. Well, let's keep it simple, keep it safe then. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the Acolyte and kill that, giving her just a single card for it. She can now ping the Gurubashi and use the Gurubashi to kill this, and the Gurubashi would then be at 2 health. Alright, not the end of the world. What I'm going to do then is get as much board presence as I can. We'll do the Silverhand Knight. I don't need the extra taunt from the Fen Creeper, so I might as well get the extra, compared to the Fen Creeper, extra 3 power from the Silverhand Knight. Also, if she does do the plan of ping the Gurubashi and then kill the Druid, then I've got the Squire to kill off the Gurubashi and still leave me with a 4/4. Well, I'd say the game's going pretty well. I'm likely with either the Druid or this Fen Creeper bait out Polymorph before Ironbark comes down. She's actually going to coin for a 7 mana drop here. And it's actually going to be a coin Flame Strike. Wow, alright. I actually, to be honest, did not see that coming. To be totally honest, I just really didn't see that coming at all. That was quite well. I'm just going to say well played. I did not see that coming. So we're going to go ahead and do Fen Creeper. Wrath, and we're going to kill this thing off. Otherwise, she can kill my Fen Creeper with the Gurubashi. And that's that. So now we'll see if I can bait out a Fireball or a Polymorph for the Fen Creeper, and then that will make the Ironbark a little bit more likely to survive. Oh, Mustard Mid points out that I forgot to turn off my thing. Thank you, I apologize for that. It's a thing I forget to do sometimes. Alright, now here we can actually play Ravenholt Assassin. It's a good way of dealing with this Ogre, but now let's play Ironbark Protector. And swing. So the Ogre is a very good card for my opponent, obviously. It will take out this Fen Creeper and most of the Ironbark. She actually did save a Polymorph, or did she just top deck it? I missed where the Polymorph came from. Well, that deserves a well played. I didn't think she had one. I think she would have used it on the Fen Creeper. And then she plays a Water Elemental. Oh my god, this is starting to be a little bit ugly. Ah, god, Water Elemental. Alright, how do we do this? Well, if I swipe the Ogre, of course, then I'll deal... Yeah, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to swipe all of... Well, okay, I could play Force of Nature and the Wolf, which would allow me each of these things to hit for 3 damage. So actually, that would also be a way of killing the Water Elemental and the Ogre if I throw away the Sheep. Oh my gosh, I almost missed the right move. Yes, okay, so first we play Force of Nature. Alright, then we put the Wolf here. So what happens now is one of the trees runs into the Elemental, one of them runs into the Elemental. It's unfortunate that I have to throw the Sheep and the tree to get the Ogre off the map, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So here we go. She's got 5 cards to my 4, soon to be 5. We're equal on cards. Life is about the same. I've got a creature on the board. It's her turn to play. And I've got this Assassin dropping down soon, so we'll see if she's got anything good. The answer is she does. She does have something good. She's going to ping my face. She's not going to get to work on this Wolf. She'll let the Sen'jin take it out, I see. Mark of the Wild is interesting, although not that helpful, I don't think. It becomes a 4/4 with Taunt. Doesn't really help me at all. Well, I could, I guess, then use... Actually, I guess that does kind of help. Okay, we'll do it. We'll put Mark of the Wild here. Then... I could play the Ravenholt or I could swipe. Yeah, let's just clear the board one more time. Shapeshift, go there. So she can unfortunately kill off this wolf with her hero ability. And then it'll be 4 of her cards versus my 3. One of mine is Ravenholt Assassin, and the other is Swipe. So I feel pretty good about my chances. As long as her plays aren't that great, I should be okay. Okay, so she pings it off. She plays... Okay, so finally she plays some lame stuff. In fact, this stuff's really lame. It'll die to Swipe. That's very good to see. This is pretty good to see. I can target that with a Swipe, or I could finish it off with Shapeshift. Okay, so my opponent finally falters and has a bad turn. I'm going to drop the Ravenholt Assassin down, we're going to Shapeshift, and I'm going to give away the fact that I have Swipe by Shapeshifting her face. There's really no purpose in killing off these things, other than to preserve some damage, but I'm much happier to deal damage to her than to preserve damage on me. We're going to get some card draw off this Drake. In fact, depending on which my opponent plays, I could play the Drake and then swipe her face, and that'll kill off the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Okay, so we'll be swiping this thing, I think, just to have everything else die. Does she have anything else for 6 mana? She seems to be holding a couple of removal spells, which is just fine by me, so let's go ahead and get a card. Claw is interesting. I could swipe her face and Claw to finish this off, but no, let's just do this. This is fine. 3 extra damage on her face isn't that big of a deal. We're going to hit her with the Assassin. Alright, this is looking pretty good. So now she needs Flame Strike to clear my board. And then it'll be 2 cards to 2. Granted, my cards are removal now, which is awkward because it's not quite enough to kill her with. But it might not be adequate to kill creatures. But okay, she's got Fireball, so she doesn't have a Flame Strike. That's one of her cards. There's the other one. So I guessed correctly, she was in fact holding on to a pair of removal cards. And she seems to have top decked something that is either more than 2 mana or just not that helpful. Or maybe it's another removal card. No Mission Venture. Well, I'm really glad I took this and not Dalaran Mage, that's for sure. I'm getting an extra top deck here. Now I need to count. This is 4, 6, 10 damage. Yeah, this is definitely the move. So we're gonna go ahead and bite it up. Shapeshift. And just hit her for 5 damage. So now she has to play a taunt, or else Swipe plus Claw plus Shapeshift is the game. So she has to have taunt or life gain here. Notice how often, by the way, when I play, I say, like, my opponent needs taunt or life gain. Just goes to show that stuff's pretty good. She has a Frostwolf Warlord! Why Frostwolf Warlord is a crappy card, volume 587 Kerjillion, and my opponent does not, it seems, have any taunters or life gainers, so that will be that. Swipe. Don't even need Claw, actually. Shapeshift will do the job. Well played. Well, that was a pretty easy win to start things off. We really manhandled the mage there. She had a Fireball, she had a Polymorph, she had Frostbolt, she even had a coined out Flame Strike. It just wasn't good enough. My card quality was too much superior to hers. So, not super impressive on my part. I just had a better deck. And that's not necessarily my credit. I just, you know, got good cards in the draft. But it just goes to show my prediction that the deck is a good one might hold true. We'll see. Nat says, GG. Thank you, Nat. That was indeed a good game. Kimoko says, Frostwolf in a mage deck seems a bit odd. Well, let me be a cranky old man for a moment and say that Frostwolf Warlord in, like, almost any deck is odd, because that is a bad card. But that's just my little pet thing. I cannot wait for my cold to end, because I really want to make a strategy video discussing how to analyze cards. I've been putting together a series of videos. Like scripting them. I just need to not sound sick, because the strategy videos that I make that will like survive for all the ages, I would like to have my normal voice on them, not my like nasally awful voice. Alright, so I mulliganed away the Ironbark, and I also mulliganed away a 4-drop. You could have kept the Gnomish Inventor, given that you had a 2 and a 3-drop here, but I figured I'd fish for something else, and what I fished out was a Savage Roar, which is probably not that great. Kimoko says, I like Frostwolf and Hunter and Shaman. Yeah, I guess with a Hunter deck, if you combo it with Unleash the Hounds, it's pretty stellar. Ooh, I like that. Maybe I should have done that in my constructed deck instead of going for Sea Giants. Maybe I should have gone for what's her face? Frostwolf Warlords. Okay, so do you play the Wolf here? Or do you coin the Scarlet Crusader out? I'm actually gonna coin out the Scarlet Crusader. I don't really see what else I'm gonna be using my coin for anytime soon, and I just hate playing the wolf if I don't have to on turn 2, because it doesn't do anything. It's just a 2/2 for 2, and it's at least 2 turns till its ability is relevant. First you have to play a minion, the minion is summoning sick, and then you have to attack with the minion. The wolf's going to die by then. This is a much stronger play. Now of course you could have Shadow Word Pain for it, Well, alright, in that case, then I will play the wolf on the next turn. But if I had a reasonable alternative to playing the wolf, I was going to take it. Ah, okay. So my opponent goes for the Harvest Golem. Well, this is a case where the Scarlet Crusader trumps the Harvest Golem, because I pop the Divine Shield, the Golem comes back in, I shapeshift, and I kill it. Now, for those of you wondering why I didn't do Wrath, I really believe strongly it is better to shapeshift in the early game than to play Wrath for. Because right now I've got plenty of cards to play. Cards are not the issue. So I want to save this for later, because later I might want the 3 damage instead. She has a no-mission mentor, or sorry, he has a no-mission mentor, which is very, very good for him because it enables him to kill off the Scarlet Crusader, and it wins back the card advantage. So what I'll do here is play... Well, okay, Shattered Sun Cleric, this Scarlet Crusader would still die. Wolf, and it'll still die. But the Shattered Sun Cleric costs more mana, so that's what I'm going to go for. Now, I could have also shapeshifted that no-mission mentor, but then I wouldn't, been able to do much else. Okay, yeah, we're going to do this. And trade. It's unfortunate because this thing drew a card and killed a minion, but this thing killed a minion and lived, so we just basically got back to equal. And that's good for me because I favor myself in the end game against most other decks. With my Assassin, my Ironbark, Force of Nature, and the Savage Roar. For some burnout potential. All in all, I'd say this is looking pretty good so far. So he has 7 cards. I also do. I am the second player, though. That's why I'm going to be a card ahead. So I'm not really ahead. I didn't get ahead at all. It's just what I am for being second player. Kimoko says, unless he mind controls your trees. That's true. There is always that fear that my Ironbarks get mind controlled. My hope is that people don't play with mind control that much, with it being 10 mana and all. But yeah, that does happen, for sure. Alright, so he had an extremely lame turn. With 5 mana, all he did was kill my minion and then nothing else. So this is pretty great. I drop a really good 5-drop here. This is like the perfect case for Silverhand Knight, where you just drop it and it's a huge amount of power and toughness. Now, the best thing he could have here is like a Boulder Fist Ogre. It would take pretty much all my resources killing it. But if he has anything less than a really stellar 6-drop, he's in trouble. Okay, so he's going to do this, which basically trades with my 5-drop, and is therefore not all that impressive. Okay, do I just throw this in? Do I Wrath it? I could Wrath that, if I wanted to keep my 2/2 alive. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be playing this thing, so let's do that first before we make any commitments. Ravenhold Assassin. Okay. Yep, let's go ahead and Wrath. So we'll kill that off with the Wrath. With Savage Roar and Bite and the Wolves, I'm feeling pretty good about my removal situation. I want to keep as many minions on the board as I can, and in my hand as I can, so that I can play this next turn, you know, calmly. We'll see if he's got another good 6-drop. This is the card he just drew. He's fingering it. One nice thing about the Assassin is at least it's stealthy, so it gets to attack once before being mind controlled. So he drops a really big Twilight Drake. That is sad, because with the Wolf's help, these guys still will only deal 6 damage to it. I could, however, Savage Roar. Or just play the Ravenhold Assassin and let that kill this thing. This is also a very good drop for him. Oh, jeez. That was a really good turn for my opponent. It's a really good drop for him because what this does is it doesn't die to either of my minions unless, of course, I put a wolf down. Okay, I don't think I can play the Ravenhold Assassin here. We must act differently. So I could do the Mark of the Wild, making this a 4/6 with Taunt. And then Savage Roar would let me kill off his stuff. Okay, we'll do that. So we'll do the Mark of the Wild here. We'll do Savage Roar. And we're going to drop a wolf down. So now this No-Mission Mentor got beefed up enough to kill the Twilight Drake. This thing got beefed up enough to kill the Acolyte. And then I'm going to hit him in the face. This left me vulnerable to Holy Nova, which I didn't actually think about when I played it. That was probably a mistake. Holy Nova at least is his whole turn, but then he's going to have 6 cards to my 5. So yeah, that was a big mistake. I shouldn't have played into Holy Nova like that. I should have left something alive or killed his stuff in some other way to not be so vulnerable to Holy Nova. Well, he doesn't... Well, okay, he might still have Holy Nova, but he thought steals first. Now, if he steals one of my 3 swipes, that would be very good for him. He could kill off 2 of my creatures that way. Luckily, he's not a Druid, so he can't shapeshift to finish off the other one, but that thought steal was quite scary. He could still play Holy Nova if he has one. He's quite a few cards ahead. This is, yeah, that last turn, I really didn't think far enough ahead. I should have done something different. Maybe instead of playing the wolf, I should have just shapeshifted to finish off the Twilight Drake, and then kept the wolf in my hand. Well, luckily he didn't get a swipe or a Holy Novo, so I really lucked out there. I'm basically not being made to pay for my errors, since he could have had Holy Nova very easily, and then he top decked, or he thought stole some removal, but he didn't thought steal the best removal that he could have gotten.
I must consider.
This guy might actually end up getting used on the Ravenhold Assassin. If the Ravenhold Assassin is used to kill a minion. Alright, he's going to pass the turn. So, do we go for the Ravenhold Assassin, or do we shapeshift this owl, taking the bait? Well, if we shapeshift, there's not much else to do. This might be a good time to actually wrath the owl and draw a card, because I don't have much else to do. I can play the wolf, but then I'm really opening up to Holy Nova. I doubt he would have slow rolled a Holy Nova, but you know what? Screw it. We're just going to go ahead and do this. Throw away my 2-1 to kill that thing. And we're going to attack him with the 2-2. So next turn, we'll have enough mana to play the wolf. Swing for 11, potentially. Play this, maybe heal up my Ravenhold Assassin, and then, or maybe I could use some of these removal cards and shapeshift. Got a lot of mana to work with. 9 is like enough for like this, and a removal card. Or like this, wrath, and shapeshift. So lots of options here. Now he's got 7 cards, one of which is mine. I have 6 cards, soon to be 7, so I'm actually doing alright on cards. And I'm a little bit ahead on the board. So all he has going for him right now is initiative. If he doesn't take advantage of this opportunity to actually do something really, really good, then I will be firmly ahead when it comes to be my turn. It's very important. Very important moment for my opponent here. Stark 71, the priest. Why would anyone ever put numbers in their name? You're allowed to make whatever name you want, right? That's bizarre. So here's a flesh-eating ghoul. That'll be tempting for the silenced wolf to kill. And he's actually managed to thought steal a force of nature. Interesting choice. So he gets to kill the wolf. I see what he's doing. He gets to kill the wolf. He gets to attack me for 4 damage. Then these guys die. And the flesh-eating ghoul is a 6-3. Well, I don't know if that move was a mistake or not. But the issue with that play for sure is the fact that it's very vulnerable to lots of different things. So if he had anything else he could have done, it would have been better. Now, we could do a couple of different things here. I could play Force of Nature that I just drew myself. And either with the help of the wolf, yeah, and also the wolf, I could use one of the trees to kill the ghoul, and I could use the other 2 to hit him for 5 damage. And then this will hit for 8, so that's 13, taking him down to 11. Then I've got the assassin, and I've got the wolf. If he has mind control, he steals this thing, but then I can just bite, shapeshift, and kill it. So that's interesting. That's an option. I could also just wrath this ghoul, or bite it. Well, I want to save bite in case he steals the assassin, though. So we're not going to play Force of Nature then. We're actually going to play Wrath for 3 damage. And the reason I'm doing this is that after he steals the Ravenhold Assassin, I'd like to have more creatures on the board. And this is a way to give myself more creatures. I put an extra 3-3 out, whereas with Force of Nature I would have killed his ghoul, but I wouldn't have had that 3-3. So we hit him for 8. Now he spends his whole turn mind controlling, let's say, the Ravenhold Assassin. I then play Force of Nature for 6 damage. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16 damage, and I win the game, so mind control does not save him. Because this guy doesn't have taunt, obviously. And he's not a shaman, so he cannot play Ancestral Healing to give this taunt for 0 mana, so we should be good. I'm going to see Mind Control out and I win the game, so he need to have something besides Mind Control to actually stay in this. He's very, very far behind now with this board that he's facing. Probably his best answer would be to kill off my minions piecemeal. Like, let's say he played Big Game Hunter to shoot this, Holy Smite to shoot this, Shadow Word Pain to kill that, and then, you know, he'll have 4 cards to my 2 and enough health that I can't really kill him, because this is only 10 damage and he's at 15 health. So if you can kill every one of these creatures individually and put some stuff on the board, then he'll be fine. Alright, he plays Lightspawn and Temple Enforcer. Well, that is really just not going to do anything. That's like the worst thing he could have done. He got this combo off and put down an 8-8 and a 6-6, which is great, except for when your opponent has lethal damage on the board. So I'm not going to bring out any of my cards, although I have, like, oh god, so much overkill. So much overkill. My opponent, though, he doesn't know, though, because I'm well-mannered. That is why he did not know. I'm well-mannered, so I didn't want to reveal any of the extra crap that I had. Alright, Nat says no removal. Wow, yeah, that was strange. That priest had a Holy Smite, but he never played Shadow Word Pain, Shadow Word Death, or Holy Nova. And I admit I made a mistake opening up wide to Holy Nova. He just didn't get quite lucky enough. I think if he had Thought Stolen one of my swipes, he would have been much better. What he actually Thought Stole was a Wrath and Force of Nature, which you gotta admit is pretty lucky, but not as lucky as Swipe would have been. And so that's what he needed to get to have a chance there. Alright, we're up against a Paladin. Oh, this is nice. Happy Feet the Paladin. I like being a Druid against Paladins because I can just kill his recruits for free with my hero ability. I don't hate, but I don't feel comfortable playing against Paladins when I am a class that does not get to kill their recruits for free. Man, I got too many of these wolves. Too many wolves, man. Too many wolves. Force of Nature. Ah, jeez. This is a bit of a lame hand, I have to say. I really hope he passes on turn 1, because if he doesn't pass on turn 1, shit's going to get really scary real fast. Okay, he passed on turn 1, thank goodness. So this is great, because now I play the wolf, and a paladin is like the least likely class in the game to actually kill this wolf. I mean, he could play like a blue-gold warrior, but no paladin card will kill this that he can have access to right now. Unless I forgot something weird. Pretty sure there's no 3-mana paladin card that will kill. Oh my god, if that Mad Bomber kills the wolf... Oh, thank Christ. I'm so sick of Mad Bombers improbably killing my shit. Ugh. Alright, let's think. I could use Wrath, but I'd rather just put a wolf down. Because this is a 2-health creature. If I were to Wrath that, I'd be left with a 1-health creature, and then I wouldn't be able to kill off the reinforcement and keep a creature around. Next turn's kind of sad, though. I can't play Fen Creeper, and unless I top deck something good, I'm actually not going to be able to play anything. Oh, jeez. So many Acolytes of Pain today. What is up with that? Alright, well, I could kill it by attacking it twice. Or I could Wrath it for 1 damage and draw a card myself and then throw the wolf at it. So then, like, basically, it cycles. Geez. So he's getting 2 cards the other way. I could Wrath it, then he only gets 1 card, but then I go down a card. Fairy Dragon... So I'm definitely playing the Fairy Dragon. It's just a matter of whether I'm shapeshifting to kill this or whether I'm wrathing to kill it. He gets 2 cards the other way. Do I want a card or not? The answer is... I don't really want a card, actually. Yeah, I hate this, but he... Okay, so this is basically an Arcane Intellect that also did a little bit of damage. But, so that's good. That was definitely good for him. He got 2 cards out of the deal. And he reverted some damage that could have gone in his face. It was like Delta damage... to the wolf, delta damage to me, and then it saved him 3 health. But anyway, that was worth it, though, to keep his board clear. The issue is now, of course, he has a whopping 9-card hand. I've got a 6, soon-to-be 7-card hand, and some board head starts, but kind of scary. Lots of good stuff here. True Silver Champion would be good. Consecration would be good. Hammer of Wrath wouldn't be that good. This is terrible. Oh, this is just a bad card for him right here. I don't think he realized that the wolf's buff would apply to the Fairy Dragon. Alright, so this is kind of annoying because what I really want to do is shapeshift and kill this thing. The issue is that then I can't play anything else. So I could Wrath it for 1 damage and hope that I draw a 3-mana toughness, 3-mana card or less. Or I could just say screw it and play Fen Creeper and leave this thing alive, which is scary because he has Blessing of Kings. If he has Blessing of Kings, it'll be a 7/7, it'll hit this, it'll go down to 7/4. That's difficult to deal with. I don't want to throw both creatures at this, though. That seems like a waste. Alright, we're gonna do this risk. We're gonna Wrath this for 1 damage and see what we get. We got another Wrath. Not exactly what I needed. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is keep the wolf around, even though... Actually, no. Wolf... Okay, we're going to hit him in the face with this Fairy Dragon. We're going to throw the wolf away. Shapeshift, hit him in the face. That was a lame turn. I had to choose between playing a creature or killing off his creature, and I chose to kill off his creatures. Not letting him keep stuff on the board. I mean, a paladin with this many cards, you just do not want to let him keep anything around if you can't avoid it. And he's going to get a 6-drop out. Ah, geez, I probably should have just played a Fen Creeper. Yeah, he got a Boulder Fist Ogre here. That's unfortunate. So the Force of Nature now doesn't really work very well. Shatterstone Cleric doesn't work very well. This just dies to that thing. Alright, we're going to go ahead and play the Silverhand Knight and hit him in the face.
Ready, sir.
So things are getting pretty bad. He had a slow start, but so did I. And now he's just got card advantage off that Acolyte. So I'm in a lot of trouble here. Assassin's not really going to cut it. This is not going to cut it. I wish I had an Ancient of Lore instead of this thing. Oh, jeez. Well, it's not to be... Not too surprising that he had a Divine Shield there. He's going to get a card and put a 2/4 body down, which is actually very good against my board. This is just getting more and more bad. Alright. What do we do here? The hell do we do here? Force of Nature doesn't really work very well. This doesn't work all that well. Everything of mine will get slaughtered. You know what? Yeah, we're going to do this, though. So I kill this thing off. We hit him for 1 damage. Now the Gnomish Inventor kills this. The Ravenhold Assassin is ready to kill the Ogre. That's probably the best I could do. I don't see how I could do any better. Guy had a lot of quality cards. Okay, that's probably Noble Sacrifice. So we have a couple of options here. We could, of course, play Force in Nature. And then use that to fish out Noble Sacrifice. I could shapeshift into the Fen Creeper as a pro play to try to fish out Noble Sacrifice, although I have been seeing secrets that aren't Noble Sacrifice more and more often, so that's a little bit scary. I could check for Repentance with Scarlet Crusader. Oh man, the problem is if it is a Noble Sacrifice and it just attack with the Ravenhold Assassin, that's really, really bad. Okay, well, let's go for it then. Let's fish it out. Okay, thank God it's Noble Sacrifice. So I did another pro play here to get rid of it. I could use Force of Nature to kill the Fen Creeper, and then the Ravenhold Assassin kills the Ogre. He's still left with the creature. Is there anything better that I can do? I could use this to kill the Fen Creeper. Then the Ogre survives, but this thing still lives. And then I can actually Wrath the Gnomish Inventor down or play the Fen Creeper to protect my guy. Alright, we'll go for that, I guess. Well, actually, no, the Fen Creeper is bad because the Ogre kills the Fen Creeper. This still kills my Assassin, so that's no good. We are going to have to Wrath this Gnomish Inventor. Play a Scarlet Crusader. Well, it definitely could be worse. It's got the Ogre plus 7 cards. I have a total of 6 cards. If he has another Divine Shield, or a Blessing of Kings, or a Shattered Stone Cleric, he can then kill off my Ravenhold Assassin and live to tell about it. He's going to use the True Silver Champion to kill off the Ravenhold Assassin, leaving me up a creek here against this Boulder Fist Ogre. At least he took a bunch of damage. I could start to try to burn him out, I guess. Does he have a Taunter with that 4 mana? No, he doesn't. He has a Dark Iron Dwarf. That's some serious damage, though. He's actually ahead of me on health. Yeah, burning him out's tough. So I could do 6, 9, 10, 11 damage. Take him down to 8 health, but then he's actually got almost lethal. This is 10, 14, and he heals up a bit. Balls, balls, balls. Alright, we're gonna do this. We'll hedge our bets a bit. I'm going to kill the Dark Iron Dwarf. Play the Fen Creeper down in front of that Ogre. I'm not going to commit the Claw to his face just yet. We'll wait and see if there's a better use for it later. My opponent definitely has the upper hand. If he continues playing as good of cards as he has been, he'll definitely win. But there's always a chance that he runs out of steam. Okay, so he's going to do that. Now I can use True Silver to kill the Scarlet Crusader to stop the Crusader from killing this Ogre off. Or we can do that. I do have a Keeper of the Grove in this deck, which will silence this Tyrion. However, if I don't get Keeper of the Grove, which is my only out against this, I am well and truly fucked. And he actually kills the Shadowstone Cleric. I don't know why. I really don't know why he... Yep, no idea why. There was a 3-2 and a 4-2. He decided to kill the 3-2. That is mind-boggling. But alright. So what we're going to do here is play Force of Nature. And then I think... What's the best way? I could Shapeshift to pop the Divine Shield. Or I could use one of these to pop the Divine Shield and then bite it with another one. Yeah, I think that's probably the move. So we're going to do this. Pop this off. Take a bite out of Tyrion. And I could hit him in the face for 6. He's at 12, but that's not close enough. We're going to have to kill the Ogre off. And hit him in the face, and my tree dies. So at the end of the day, he's got a 5-3 weapon and 6 cards to my 2 cards.
Thank you.
Mustard Mitt says, who plays Tyrion Fordring? As my opponent says a bad-mannered thank you, what the fuck was I supposed to do? If I just sit there and not kill Tyrion, let him bash me for 6 damage? What an asshole. Mustard Mitt says, who plays Tyrion Fordring? Yeah, lucky people do. Well, he's got a lot of damage here. I'm actually well and truly boned. I just wasn't able to deal enough damage to him early in the game. If I had dealt more damage, I could have burned him out. As it is, it's over. Well, let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, always go out in style. So that Paladin really manhandled me. I mean, his deck was... I think his deck is better than mine, to be totally honest. I think I have a pretty good deck. I think his was just even better, and he just played cards in one. I didn't see too much of skill from him, just playing down some cards and winning. He also had a legendary. That was pretty handy. And I didn't get my 1 out to that legendary, which would have also been very handy. Also never saw any of my swipes that game. I'm not sure they would have helped much. But, yeah, that Ogre plus Tyrion was too much for me to handle. Nat says, best Paladin card. Hope I get him one day. I actually do have Tyrion in my collection. And not that great, actually. I tried playing him in some decks. I always end up taking him out because he's just too expensive. And it's too risky a lot of the time to play him. If your opponent has removal, you're just so screwed. Alright, well this is quite the hand. We'll just keep it. So I've got a swipe, I've got a claw for some removal. And I've got minions to play. So can't really complain about anything. Well, if she plays a Mana Worm on turn 1, I can complain about that. Good, 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 good. Alright, no point in coining out this wolf. That seems awfully silly. We'll just play the wolf on turn 2, I think.
Put this apple on your head.
Okay, we can play the wolf, and yes, I will use the coin here. Even though the coin is tempting to keep around so I can coin out a 5-drop on turn 4, killing off the Knife Juggler is way too damn important. So I've got this wolf here, I've got the Cobra to play on turn 3, I might use swipe on turn 4, I've got 2 more in the deck, so if there is a good opportunity to kill something with a swipe, I will take it. Like a 4 toughness creature of some kind. Mad Blower, okay, please don't kill the wolf. Oh my god. It killed the fucking wolf. The odds of that are so goddamn small. I cannot believe how often it happens to me. I just literally can't believe it. Motherfucker. It was the last 2 barrels, too. 1 in 9 odds there on those barrels. Okay, well, the other Mad Bomber didn't kill the wolf, but I guess I just can't escape my ridiculous curse for any great length of time. I'm pretty sure that the Mad Bomber has killed my 2 toughness creatures more often than it hasn't, which is nuts, considering how low the probability is. So Mirror Image pretty good here. It protects the Mad Bomber. She could start hitting my face, and I wouldn't have a really great answer to that if she chose to do that. I'd have to throw this Cobra at the Mirror Images for a while. Yeah, next turn's awkward, but on turn 5, if she hasn't done much by then, if she has a weak turn here, and a weak next turn, then I can drop the Druid in the Claw, or Druid of the Claw and Silverhand Knight, and I might stick around. Alright, so she's going to play Mad Bomber and hit me in the face. She decides to go for broke. Alright. I could swipe and kill this thing off, but I'm actually going to play the Farseer instead and heal up. This puts an extra body on the board, it threatens to kill off another one of her creatures, and it heals me up a bit, which is nice to get. So I think that was better than playing swipe. Then next turn we can finally play the Druid of the Claw and be pretty happy. I might actually use this with charge to kill the mirror image, and then use the Farseer to kill the Mad Bomber. Okay, all that is dashed, because that just happened. However, in a way this is good, because by giving these guys taunt, it means that the mirror image isn't protecting them anymore. So she will use the Shadow Stone Cleric to take out the Cobra. And she'll hit me in the face with that, which is smart. If she'd hit this, you know, she probably didn't want to just open up wide for swipe by reducing this to 1 health. Which is fine, except now what I get to do is swipe this Mad Bomber. Cry, because I don't have enough mana to shapeshift that mirror image away. And then my 3/3 threatens to kill the 2/2. So, recall on cards. My life's not too bad. I'm a druid. I heal up a little bit. This is looking pretty good, actually. I'm pretty happy about this. Panther, not a big deal. She's going to ping this off to kill it. Looks like she may. Yeah, she's going to do that. And she's going to play Young Priestess. This is a smart use of Young Priestess, so now I'm stopped from playing my really good 5-drop here. Alright. I'm going to go for the Silver Hand Knight. It's a tough call, but I want to put more total power or toughness on the board. Ravenhold Assassin's a little weak here. Haven't not seen my Ironbark yet. I think I mulliganed him in one hand, but other than that, he just has not been showing up at all. Force of Nature might be played next turn. If she uses the Panther to kill this, Force of Nature will kill the Priestess and the Panther, and maybe something else. She, however, is going to use the Priestess to kill the Silverhand Knight, which is smart. This opponent is playing quite adeptly, I must say. Oh, she's going to keep that hidden. Okay, never mind. I take it all back. That was not the right move. She should have absolutely just killed this Squire. Yeah, I could shapeshift the Jungle Panther to death, but I mean, really, what are you doing with your life? Alright, well, in that case, let's go ahead and play the Druid of the Claw. For this, let's put Mark of the Wild on this to protect it from dying to Fire Blast. And we're going to go ahead and swing for 4 damage. So now my creatures can basically trade with hers, or better. Mustard Mid says, the day will come when an Elven Archer, Mad Bomber, and Kodo clears you out in 1 turn. Ah, yes. Can't wait for that day. Alright, so Force of Nature plus Shapeshift will clear her board. And at the end of the day... Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm cards ahead, so I don't mind doing that. Actually, I should really Wrath, because now I do want cards. Yeah, so let's Wrath the Divine Shield off of that and get a card. Okay, Claw, good times. She has 3 cards to my, or sorry, 2 cards to my 3. I will have actually 4 when I draw. My life is a little low, but I am a druid with Shapeshift, and I do have Claw for some health, if I need it, potentially. And looks like she actually had a weak sauce top deck. This is perfect. Alright, great. So what we're going to do here then is play the Assassin, my biggest creature. And let's go ahead and Wrath. Wait, no. Sorry. Wrong thing. Let's just go ahead and Claw here. Kill that Geomancer. 18 health is a little scary if the mage had like 5 cards, but since she only has 2 and she's mostly top decking, 18 health is more than enough. I should be in pretty good shape. So this is a card that she's been holding on to for a while. It might be a removal card. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do Wrath for a card. And some damage. Nourish. Alright. Do I want to draw 3 cards or play Fen Creeper? I would rather play Fen Creeper. Be nice to protect against charged creatures and whatnot. Hit her for 7. Okay, so now let's find out what this card was that she's been holding on to for ages. Probably Fireball or Polymorph if I'm a man. It could also be a Flame Strike that's just not opportune to use at the moment. She just top decked a Frostbolt, so apparently this is not some kind of a removal card. Or else she would have killed us with that. And she pings my face, which is extremely bizarre because this would have been the much smarter target to ping, since then she could ping it to death next turn. You know what might be? This might actually be a Pyroblast. It might actually be Pyroblast, because that would explain why she's not pinging this to death. Another explanation for why she didn't ping this is because this is a Flame Strike, and she doesn't want to She doesn't want to ping this because it's going to die to Flame Strike next turn anyway. Well, if it is a Flame Strike, I don't want to play the Fairy Dragon. I've got enough card advantage that I don't need to throw out all my cards in desperation. We'll see if this is in fact a Flame Strike. She can't clear my board with the Flame Strike. Either the Scarlet Crusader... Well, actually, the Fen Creeper will survive. The Scarlet Crusader will die to being pinged. But the Fen Creeper will survive, and she concedes. This was a game that I won kind of similarly to how the Paladin beat me. I just sort of ground out a card advantage. Once I had the card advantage, I could just play things at my leisure, and my cards are strong enough in this deck that if I get ahead of it, I am going to be in great shape. Well, that was great. So the 3 wins have all been great. The 1 loss to the Paladin was to someone who had a really strong deck, so I feel pretty good about this deck's chances. Of course, nothing's ever guaranteed, and when you play enough arenas like I have, you're always going to get those improbable outcomes. But still, good so far here. Nass has another mage down. GG, careful. Don't say mage. They're watching. They'll appear. Okay, we're gonna mulligan the 5 drops, and because I have 3 swipes in this deck, I'll mulligan that as well, hoping to get maybe one of my mini wolves, so I can get a really fast start. Nope, didn't get one of my mini wolves, but at least I got some removal. Wrath's nice, it'll kill mana worms, which is great. Funky Monk, the mage. This person's excited for the expansion. Supposedly, way back in the day, Blizzard said that they would make an expansion with the Monk class. And I think a Death Knight was the other class they wanted to add, but they haven't talked about that for a while. The thing they're talking about now is this Naxxramas thing, the adventure mode due out this summer. Should be fun as well. I'll be making videos of that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what all the new cards are. There'll be 30 new cards added, which may not seem like much, but that is a really big deal. Adding that many cards to a game like Hearthstone is pretty huge. My opponent has a very slow start, just Fire Blasts me, which I'm totally down with. I am more than willing to bet my endgame against any opponents. Sometimes I will lose that bet, like I did against the Paladin, but I mean, here with Druid of the Claw and Ravenholt Assassin, I'm all set for endgame, and I've got enough removal to stall me there, which is great. Well, she plays an Imp Master. Now that is actually a pretty good card against me, because it's just sort of annoying dealing with these imps, and I mulliganed away my swipe. What I could do is Savage Roar. That would actually let me clear her board out. So I'd be trading Imp Master for Savage Roar. Is that worth it? You know what? It totally is. It totally is. Let's do this. So with Savage Roar, I kill off the Imp, and then my Crocolisk kills off the Imp Master. The Crocolisk is a 3 health minion, so it cannot get Fire Blasted down. So I traded Savage Roar for an Imp Master, as well as a point of damage on the Crocolisk. I think that was worth it to keep her board clear and stop any shenanigans, since I don't have any swipes. This to kill my Crocolisk, I'm pretty fine with. And she pings my face again, so she has a really slow start. I'm totally okay with that. Alright, what we're going to do here is coin into Fen Creeper. The reason I'm playing Fen Creeper instead of Druid of the Claw, Fen Creeper is actually strictly worse than Druid of the Claw. Well, okay. Fen Creeper, I mean, you can come up with some kind of case where it's better to have 3 strength than to have 5, but basically Fen Creeper is strictly worse than Druid of the Claw, because Druid is a 4-6 with taunt. This is a 3-6. I was doing this to bait out her fireballs and or polymorphs. However, she was not obliging me, and as it is, I'll have to just play the Druid of the Claw. Another big, beefy taunter, and we'll see what she can do here. I mean, a Dark Iron Dwarf would probably be her best card. It would let her use the Yeti to kill off one of these, and then she could, the Yeti would actually survive. She has Polymorph for my better card, which is fine. Let's see if she runs in here. If she does, I can just finish it off. The correct move is what she did, which is not to run in. Alright, Bite's actually pretty great here. Bite by itself will let me kill that Yeti alongside Shapeshift. Now I could Nourish as well for 3 cards, but I've got plenty of cards. I'd much rather have board control than cards. So let's kill off that Yeti, hit her in the face. And let's see what she can do. She's been playing awfully slow, so I might actually be able to play the Ravenholt Assassin next turn. It depends. She's going to draw cards, which is good news for me because I don't really care about her drawing cards. I just care about the board situation.
One shot.
Elven Archer! Okay, well that's max of desperation if she played Elven Archer here. I don't know, actually guys, I will admit the bounds of my ignorance here. I don't actually have any clue what the hell my opponent is holding on to. I don't understand why she didn't have anything from these reams of cards to play for 7 mana, and I don't know why she has no removal and no she has no removal, and she also did not have a way to kill the Fen Creeper off. It's just so bizarre, I don't even know. Okay, let's take a look at the situation. We clearly need to get rid of that Sunwalker. Do I have time to play Nourish while I wipe my nose? Beg your pardon. Well, let's say I use Shapeshift to pick that thing off. Yeah, it's awkward. I don't think I have time for Nourish. Shatterstone Cleric on this makes it 4 damage. It's not quite enough to kill the Sunwalker. I think we need to start with a Wrath to ping off the Divine Shield and draw a card. Let's see where that takes us, shall we? Emperor Cobra. Okay, well, that's not that helpful. Mark of the Wild on this would let me kill the Sunwalker. However, the problem with that is that then this would get pinged off. Unless I also Shatterstone Cleric'd it. But then a Flame Strike would actually kill everything because she'd have enough mana to... jeez. I want to put Mark of the Wild on this is what I want to do. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put Mark of the Wild on this. We're going to Claw. That. And let's actually attack with that guy. Alright, so I'm running right into a Polymorph / Fireball. Well, no, not Fireball. Fireball doesn't quite kill this. But I am running right into Polymorph. However, Polymorph would be almost half her turn, and I want to play Nourish. My Spidey senses were telling me she had Flame Strike. So, that's a well played. So I wanted to play around that more than I wanted to play around Polymorph. Anyway, she did this, which makes me regret not having played a Cobra. A Cobra would be nice to kill this with. Alas, I'll have to use my Ravenhold Assassin to kill hers, unless, of course, I can get my Keeper of the Grove. I do have a Keeper of the Grove in this deck, don't I? I mean, don't I? Don't I? No, I clearly just don't. Alright, fine. So, let's go ahead and see. Can I actually kill this, like, some other way? Claw plus Shapeshift is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 4 plus 3 is 7. You know, maybe what I should have done is actually... Oh, I messed up, folks. I'm sorry. What I should have done is I shouldn't have Nourished. No, wait. Nourish gave me this swipe. Never mind. If I had the swipe in my hand, I could have Swipe, Shapeshift, and Shatterstone Cleric, and that would have let me kill that thing off. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and do this. Let's also push forward and do that. And we'll play the Cobra. Cobra Kai here. Okay, so I'm actually planning to try to burn my opponent out. Swipe is 4 damage, Claw is 2 more, that's 6, 7, and she's down to 4 health. Stampede Dakota. You gotta be effing kidding me. You gotta be effing kidding me. So she's gonna clear my board here. Pick off the Scarlet Crusader. Sorry, pick off the Shattered Sun Cleric. And play Blade Master. Alright, do you play Ironbark here? This is actually not a very swipeable board. Yeah, let's play the Ironbark, because I can back it up with the Fairy Dragon. So she'll need a lot of resources to kill off this Ironbark. Or just a Polymorph, which would be kind of sad, but I feel like it's still worth going for. You know, gosh, this could go really badly, because she just top-decked a Polymorph. Motherfucker. She just top-decked Polymorph. So now she gets to clear my board, and it's going to be really difficult for me to get a minion to stick on the table. That, I was just thinking, is the card that I need. So thank goodness I got it. We're going to play this, draw a card. Wow, that was actually shockingly perfect. We can swipe here. I can swipe her face, but that's not really what I want to do. I want to swipe this, claw, and finish this thing off. Okay. So we got a 4/4 here. I've got 6 damage in the bank, so she needs to kill this. Card-wise, I'm doing okay. Alright, but I managed to clear her borders, which is what the important thing is. Just going to draw some cards. I don't really care about that. Let's see if she has an answer for my Drake. She has a Frost. Well, if I could get a Keeper of the Motherfucking Grove, then I could actually silence this and unfreeze it, but that's obviously never going to happen. Alright, great. Let's go ahead and Force of Nature, then. So, if I Shapeshift, I can't play any of these. I could send all of them here, but no, let's just go ahead and do this. This seems totally fine. And we're going to play the Harvest Golem, which is the most durable creature that I have. And see if we can push through some of that last damage. I've got a swipe that'll kill her off. I'm pretty sure I've got one more swipe. I've got Keeper of the Grove, which can deal 2 damage to her face, and I can shapeshift her for victory. She's a Flame Strike. Alright, that will let her clear my board, but it is all of her mana. She's healing up. Oh no, that's bad. That is bad. That's really, really bad. Okay. So here we'll play my most durable creature. Put a bunch of power on the board. Shapeshift, there's nothing else to do. Hit her in the face. Alright, so a swipe will still let me win the game. Keeper of the Grove will still let me come close, but she's got a little bit of card advantage against me now, so it is possible that she will just catch up and win. Man, that Faceless Manipulator copying my Ravenhold Assassin was too good. I should have played the Cobra instead of the Shattered Sun Cleric, and then I would have had a chance. Of course, maybe then she would have fireballed the guy. Hard to say. Okay, so she's actually got massive card advantage against me. I need to get swipe like right now, and I don't actually have that many cards left in the deck, so I'm pretty sure one of them is a swipe. I just don't have that much time left. This is 8 damage here. Keeper of the motherfucking Grove. Alright, well, we're gonna go for the face. We're gonna heal up to reduce the odds of my dying like next turn. I don't know if I have any more claws. I believe I've used 2 this game. But as long as I can stall enough to get a swipe, I should be okay. Plus, she has to fear me shapeshifting her twice, but I think she can kill me before I would be able to do that. She's gonna draw a card. I don't really care about that. It's only 2 damage. That's fine. Oh man, this is close. She has, you can see, 8 cards to my 2. The only thing I have going for me is this life advantage. That makes no difference. I don't care about her, how much power she puts on the board. So now she has to kill my minions because each one represents lethal damage. Alright. No Magician's Mentor. Alright. Another chance to draw something. And that'll do, pig. That'll do. Well, that was close. So, thanks, Nat, for mentioning mages and bringing another one down upon me. That was extremely close. We just eked it out there. And up to 4-1. So this deck's been challenged, that's for sure. There have been some really tight games here. Tight games here. Tight game? There's been some tight game here, dog. Anyway, moving on to the next one. I'd be pretty happy to make it to 7. If I don't make it to 7 with this deck, I'd be pretty annoyed, I think, given that I felt good about it after drafting it and felt pretty good after playing some games with it. Nat says, GG, thank you, Nat. That was a good game, very close. Hopefully this run will be good enough that it'll be worth putting into the highlights so that I can show it off on YouTube. A hunter! Mr. Bomb the Hunter. Alright, alright. This is a non-bow that we're looking at right here. You cannot put Mark of the Wild on a Fairy Dragon. I will keep Swipe, though, just because hunters have things like Timberwolves and maybe even an early Unleash the Hounds that would be worth swiping. Alright, we got Swipe and Claw, so we are all set for removal here in the early game. Me being a Druid is nice. That might deter any turn 1 Timberwolves or Stone Tusk Boars or other nonsense that we've seen on this channel.
I'll never
Secret Keeper. Okay. Alright, you do that. So, if he actually has a secret on turn 2, this will become a 2-3. And it'll be a little bit difficult to kill, but I am going to risk it. I will, I'll Claw Shapeshift to kill it if I have to. If his secret is like a Freezing Trap, that'll stop the Fairy Dragon. Oh god, does he have an Eagle Horn Bow? Is that what he's doing? I would not be happy if he had an Eagle Horn Bow, that's for sure. Well, he's thinking. So he coined and then he thinks? That's odd. Usually you should think before casting coin, I think. So he plays a secret, buffing the Secret Keeper. Okay. And he plays Flare, which does... Okay, that was a mistake. So his coin cycled a card. A coin is more valuable than a card. He's actually going to hit my Fairy Dragon, which is totally fine. Alright, this is a little bit awkward. I don't actually have anything to play for the next 2 turns. All we learned here is that that secret isn't Explosive Trap. It would not have... If it were Misdirection, it wouldn't have triggered because there's nothing else to hit. And he plays a Grizzly for Shizzly. Well, it's alright. I guess I'll Claw Shapeshift to kill it. Ah, that's annoying. I could play this, but then Claw won't kill it. And I don't have enough mana to Shapeshift. I will Claw Shapeshift to kill that thing. We'll see if this is a Snake Trap here. Okay, it's not Snake Trap. So it could still be Freezing Trap, Snipe, or Misdirection. Probably Freezing Trap. It's the most common one. So he has 5 cards in a secret. I just have 5 cards. He plays Mad Bomber. And they all hit my face, which is actually quite irritating. But that's pretty lame for a 4th turn, even with them all hitting my face. all things considered. Alright, so, let's see, do we play the Silver Hand Knight, or do we Scarlet Crusade it up? Because that lets me also claw to kill that thing off. Yeah, let's go for the board control here. We're going to play the Scarlet Crusader. See if it's a snipe. Yeah, it's looking like a freezing trap. So, I'll take a little risk. I'm just going to play the Crocolisk instead of clawing this thing. I'll let my minions try to take this out. And then, having 2 minions on the board is nice to provide a little bit of backup against freezing traps, which is what it's most likely to be. 6 mana is interesting. I can play the Silverhand Knight and Claw, though you do, of course, have to worry about Buzzard Hounds. He's playing it awfully slow. Anytime a Hunter plays slow, the odds of him having the Buzzard Hounds combo increase, because if those are 2 of the cards that he's holding, then it's much more likely that that he will do that. Oh, God, are you? Jesus fucking Christ. Honest to God with the Kodos. So, here is an unfortunate situation. I could, of course, play the Silverhand Knight, but it's... Ah, man, this Scarlet Crusader is gonna get frozen trapped. Nothing I can do. We're just gonna play it. We're gonna run into the freezing trap. Yeah. And then we're gonna claw to kill off the Mad Bomber. Alright, well, the good news is that Buzzard Hounds isn't all that good now, since the Scarlet Crusader went back into my hand, and I could actually replay it for 5 mana, since I have nothing else to do at the moment, other than look at the wrong removal cards. Let's see if his turn's any good here. If he has a slow turn here, I'll be more confident than ever that he does have Buzzard Hounds. Otherwise, I might drop more minions onto the field. We'll see. Alright, he's going to get a companion. He got the Leok, which is pretty good. Although, the issue with Leok is that Swipe will kill the Leok, plus, of course, also the Kodo itself. And that's what's going to happen here. Yeah. Seems pretty good. Now I can also Wrath this for 1, draw a card. I do need cards here. I should have actually done this first, but I was almost certainly going to swipe anyway, so. Let's draw a card. Fen Creeper, cute. Kill that off. Okay, so he has 4 cards to 4. I have a 2-1 on the field. Pretty safe against Unleash the Hounds once I drop the Fen Creeper. So this is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy. He's going to Steady Shot on turn 7, which is great. It means he doesn't have anything for 7 mana. Plays another Secret. What could this be? What the hell could this be? Always assume the Hunter has the best Secret, but there is no Secret that's really all that great here. Well, let's trigger it. Okay. So the Secret is almost certainly a Snipe. It could also be Snake Trap, but that just seems really unlikely. So what I'm going to do is trigger Snipe. Any of these are pretty good for triggering Snipe with. This will just pop the Divine Shield off. But I really want to Taunter in play, so we'll do this to bait out any of his removal. Yeah. I'm going to Shapeshift, because that's all we can do. So he went down a card for Freezing Trap. He went down a card for Snipe. He went down a card for me having better minions than him. So this is looking actually really strong now. There was a moment there where I was really scared about Hounds, but now I'm not even scared about that anymore, and he's just in a lot of trouble. I can pretty much match his Buzzard Hounds combo with Nourish. It's going to multi-shot to clear my board. So, okay, so he catches up on a card here. That is half of his mana. And he plays Buzzard, which is a very... I don't know. I just think that's a mistake. I mean, yes, you could say he's desperate if he's got nothing else to do, but just throwing it out there to die seems silly to me. Gonna make a strange move here. I'm actually gonna play Scarlet Crusader. The reason I'm gonna play the Scarlet Crusader is if he has a Deadly Shot, I don't want this getting run into it. So I'd rather him use Deadly Shot here. And then next turn, I could actually play Druid of the Claw and Nourish rather than Ironbark to continue to avoid the sting of a Deadly Shot. Frost Elemental is not really a big deal. Scarlet Crusader freezes, that's fine. So I'm getting a little low on health here, but that's alright. Mark of the Wild. Okay, that would have been good if this thing weren't frozen. I swear, it's like my Keeper of the Grove doesn't exist. I could swipe this and Shapeshift to finish it off, but if I do that, that's 6 mana, then I can't do anything else. I could Druid of the Claw with Charge and Mark of the Wild, making it a 6/6 Charger, and then kill this off and stay at 1 health, which is just asking to die to Unleash the Hounds. I can play the Ironbark, of course. Let's just play the Ironbark. I think this thing is totally fine. We'll Shapeshift for a little bit of health, and pass turn. So I would like to put Mark of the Wild on the Scarlet Crusader and then kill off the Frost Elemental. We'll see if my opponent lets me do that. I mean, really, the best thing that can happen for him here is he flings a desperate deadly shot, and it kills the Iron Bark, and then he gets to hit me for 5, and then he tries to burn me out. That's probably the best that he could hope for achieving in this game. Awesome O's has low buzzard. Here, have card advantage. Yeah, that was just a very strange move. I mean, it is almost better just to keep the buzzard in your hand than to play it in that point. He's just got a Crocolisk, which is very humble, and a Scavenging Hyena. So he could have gotten cards for both of these if he had just kept the buzzard in his hand. I'm actually kind of surprised. For someone at 4-1, that was a pretty gross misplay. He could have gotten 2 cards here, which is huge. He could have gotten 2 more cards if he had just kept the buzzard in his hand last turn. Notice he had 4 mana left over. Wow. All right. So here we do need to kill off the hyena. All right. Let's do Druid of the Claw with charge. We're going to kill off the hyena first. And we're going to kill off the Crocolisk second. I mispositioned my stuff. This now all dies to a explosive shot. I also did everything before nourishing. So silly. Okay, let's go ahead and Mark of the Wild then, so that in case he does have explosive shot, this thing won't die at least. And we're gonna go ahead and swing. So I'm pretty safe against charged creatures with an 8-3 and a 6-4 taunter. Got a lot of burst damage myself. This is 10 damage that I've got here. Well, actually, I've got lethal damage if he doesn't kill all my stuff. This is, you know, 17 damage on the board. He has Unleash the Hounds, which, again, if he had kept the buzzard in his hand, he could be getting cards for these. Those, unless he has a Timberwolf or a Raid Leader or a Flip Soliak, can only just kill my Ironbark Protector and do nothing else. So this game's, actually, I would just say this game's over. I, like the mage a couple of mages ago, I just pretty much ground him out through card advantage. Alright, so what's his last card? It is an Arcane Shot for the Scarlet Crusader. Okay, yeah, this game is definitely over. I cannot conceive of any way that he could top deck his way out of this, given the cards I'm holding. A Hunter could beat a Druid when a Druid has 3 cards, but not these 3 cards. Alright, great. So we're going to Nourish first. Great, great, and great. Alright, let's just play the most expensive card we have. Swing for 6. And I don't even know what he could draw that would make the game, like, not end next turn. So, very resounding victory, but this guy could have, like 2 or 3 more cards if he had just held on to his buzzard. And the concession? Nope, not the concession. Alright, well, let's just swipe his face twice. And then hit him. Well played. Man, I love playing with card draw. It's just, it feels so great when you draw a whole bunch of cards and then crush your opponent into the ground. Very satisfying. Awesome Ozaz, holy crap, your deck looks like a constructed deck. It's got some really good cards in it. I have had some really tough games. I wouldn't say it's, you know, constructed quality entirely, but there are definitely draws it can get that are extremely strong with, you know, the Druid of the Claw, Force of Nature, Savage Roar, Nourish, Swipes, Zero Drake. It really does have a very constructed feeling to it. Alright, 5-1. Just need 2 more wins to feel good about myself, because clearly I base my self-worth on how well I perform in Hearthstone. H2O, the Rogue, cleverly named. We actually get 2 2-drops in the opening hand, which is unreal. That almost never happens. And let's mulligan those other cards and see what else we can get. So we got some removal. Well, this is looking pretty good. Can't complain about this opening hand really much at all. Alright, she has nothing on turn 1. Great. No Argent Squires or anything like that. And a Rogue playing Argent Squire on turn 1 is so frustrating, because then they pop out the dagger, pop the Divine Shield, they still have the dagger for the following turn. It's just so strong. Alright, she's going to play the Panda. So here, what I'm actually going to do is Wrath the Panda. Now the reason I'm doing this is that I want to keep my 2-3 around, and then play the Wolf and buff it, and have this attack for 3 damage, and possibly kill a 3-drop. If I just threw the Crocolisk in, I'd be playing the Wolf. The Wolf's not nearly as good to have on the board as the Crocolisk is, because of the 1 less health. So I feel like it was worth it to use the Wrath there, even though I didn't draw a card. Now the Golem is unfortunate because the Wolf will allow this to kill the Golem, but then I don't have enough mana left over to Shapeshift, and this doesn't have enough damage on its own to kill the Golem. So it sucks that she had a Golem that was like One of the worst cards she could have had. But that's life. Can't always have everything that you want. And again, this deck's curve is a little bit wonky with the 5s. I feel like I just don't have enough 4-drops. Here's the daggers to clear the board out. At least she didn't have a backstab, because that would have been annoying. She would have kept the damaged golem around. The issue here is I don't have anything to do except shapeshift on turn 4. That is really sad. That is really sad. Well, I'm going to be biting this ooze, I think. Just to have something to do. No! No Vision Mentor! Perfect! Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so I get to draw a card and I'm threatening to kill the ooze. That's a lot better than biting it. This Fender Creeper must have an inferiority complex. It keeps showing up at the same time as the Druid of the Claw, which is just such a better card for the same mana. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, this is okay with the No Vision Mentor. That kind of pulled me back into things. My opponent at least needs to answer it somehow. And that's not really going to do it, actually. She's just going to do what I was going to do for her. And that is great news. Well, since she seems not to have good removal, I'm going to keep on applying pressure. I'm going to play Fen Creeper. So the Fen Creeper is threatening to kill the Blade Master, and this is baiting out something like an Assassinate or a Sap so that the Druid of the Claw doesn't get hit by it. Okay, just going to use the Dark Iron Dwarf, which is one of the few times in my life I'm okay with it, because they still die. If the Blade Master would have lived, that would have really sucked, but since the Blade Master died, I'm actually totally okay with this. Alright, so she may still have an Assassinate, but let's go ahead and play Druid of the Claw here. Silverhand Knight seemed silly because the Dwarf could kill the 2/2 and then also kill the 4/4. This way, at least she needs another Dark Iron Dwarf or an Assassinate or a Sap to get past my Druid of the Claw. She does not have an Assassinate. She could still play a Sap, though. Let's see if she's got it. No, she's a Dread Corsair, which is also good, but definitely not as good as a removal card would have been. Let's think about how we do this. I could, of course, kill the Dread Corsair with my thing, Druid, bite the Dwarf. This thing will be at 3 health. She'll have to use the No Vision Mentor plus the dagger. This opponent seems not to have much removal. Now, I could also swipe the Dwarf. Swipe, unfortunately, doesn't really help relative to bite, so I might as well do the bite then. So we're going to bite it up. Hit here. Hit here. And we'll play the Scarlet Crusader because it's more expensive than the Wolf. I might as well use up all of my mana, since mana's a little bit tight with these expensive cards that I'm holding. So she could kill this now with the No Vision Mentor plus the dagger, but then I've got the Scarlet Crusader here. And Wolf and Swipe could also help me. Next turn I can actually Swipe, Shapeshift, and Wolf, which is a potentially large amount of damage. She is going to go for it here, taking some more damage to the face, which is fine. I'm still doing fine card-wise. I'm drawing ahead on my turn. Showing Yeti! Alright, that's fine. The Wolf plus Shapeshift will take care of it. Imp Master. Okay, that's annoying. Well, we're going to have to do Swipe Wolf then, which is alright. Yes, we're going to have to do that. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and Swipe. Wolf. Pop. And Shapeshift the face. So she's below 20 health. I've got Nourish back here. Turn 10, Nourish plus Silverhand Knight could be a good turn. Turn 9, I can actually Swipe plus Nourish, which might also be a good turn. If I need to Swipe Shapeshift, that's when I'll run into trouble. But if she actually daggers this thing, which it looks like she's going to do, she's going pretty low. I mean, all that damage, I don't think I've ever attacked her with a minion once this game. All of that damage that she's put on is just from hitting my minions. Okay, so she put out a really big board. I don't know if I can Nourish this turn. I might not be able to. Okay. Let's think. Yeah, let's go ahead and Swipe this guy. Then we can Shapeshift this, Wolf that, and Cobra that. So if she has a big minion that she wanted to drop, the Cobra will take care of it. Card-wise, we're equal, but I'm way ahead on life, and I've got Nourish for some more cards. Unless these need to be powerhouse cards here. If she has a mediocre turn here, and I can just Nourish and Silverhand Knight at my leisure, then I am going to be in really great shape. She's going to Assassinate the Cobra. Well, it's kind of amazing she didn't have Assassinate earlier for my Druids. And play a Fen Creeper, not a problem. This is not that scary. It doesn't hit very hard. I'm just very happy to Nourish and play Silverhand Knight, even though this will deal with the Silverhand Knight pretty well. The card advantage here is just crazy. Okay, removal, Force of Nature, could be good later. Azure Drake. Well, the Azure Drake Dropping that against Defend Creeper seems weak, so we will do this instead. Defend Creeper can only take out one of these minions, so she again needs to have some pretty good cards, and she's really getting to the point where if she runs out of steam anymore, she's in serious trouble. Ravenhold Assassin, this is a great time for the Ravenhold Assassin to suck, because it can deal tons of damage, but that doesn't really make any difference, since she doesn't need to deal damage, she needs to get board control, and this doesn't really help very much with that. Alrighty, so, what do we do here? I can play Force of Nature. That will kill the Fen Creeper and the Pyromancer, leaving me with 4 mana. With 4 mana, I could play Mark of the Wild on this, hit her for 6. It's possible. Could also play the Azure Drake. Wrath would then actually kill the... I'd have 3 mana left over. Could still play the Mark of the Wild here, hit her for 6. And then she'd be at 7 health, and Force of Nature would be threatening lethal. She'd be top decking, she'd need to get a taunt to win. I like that plan. So we're going to do this. Okay, swipe. Yeah, this actually is better than the Wrath, I think. Because we can do that. Hit her for 4. So I still got her down to 7 health, which is the whole point of what I was trying to do. And now Force of Nature plus Shapeshift is going to be the win. Unless she gets a taunt, she doesn't. She didn't seem to even have an answer to this stuff. So that was another very solid beatdown, with me delivering the beatdown. Pretty cool at 5-1 to beat an opponent down so hard. So this is maybe one of the strongest decks I've piloted in a long time. I thought it was good when I made it, and it's been showing its worth. Obviously, there's that one paladin who manhandled us, and one mage who almost won, and one hunter who could have had a better chance if he had held on to a buzzard instead of just throwing it down onto the board. But man, if I don't make it to 7 wins, I'm going to be really shocked. I will say that if I don't make it to 7 wins, I will say that it was because I either misplayed horribly in one of the next 2 games, or just got horribly unlucky. Because this deck it just seems really strong to me, just having played some games with it. So, see what happens. And it's another Paladin. Well, that was the only class that beat me so far, but he had a really strong deck. We'll see how things go. Okay. I will keep one of the swipes just as a damage control panic button to kill off his recruits. He mulligans his whole hand. You never really know what that means. I mean, that might mean well, it means he didn't like any of his cards, but you have no idea. You don't have any information. He could have gotten like a great hand, or he could have gotten total crap. Okay. Well, we got lots of removal here, so that's great. I suppose. If he plays knife jugglers and stuff, I can kill them. Yep, that's gonna die. Now, I could coin into the Scarlet Crusader, but that seems a little bit dicey. Let's just Wrath this thing. And pass the turn. Don't let Paladins keep creatures. I mean, he could easily play like if I played Scarlet Crusader, he could put like an Argent Protector, and, you know, and then an Elven Archer. Like, it's just other stuff bad stuff can happen. No reason to take the risk. So he makes a recruit here. So now it's tricky. Why are you saying hello? I could shapeshift here, but then I can't. Okay, it's one of those guys. I can play a Scarlet Crusader, let him pop the Divine Shield with the Silver Hand recruit. I'm going to do that. The alternative is just to either Wrath this and draw a card, which seems silly, shapeshift it, which just passes the turn. Let's go ahead and do this, and then we can you know, swipe and kill stuff later. So he's going to rely on his recruits here for all time. In fact, he doesn't even want to pop off the Divine Shield. He's like, yeah, screw it. All right, now I'm considering a very crazy play. I'm considering actually swiping his face to kill off these recruits. That's trading 1 card for 2 activations of the hero ability. I could also play the coin for Druid of the Claw, and I'm going to do that instead. It's a little bit less crazy. We're going to do this. Even Blessing of Kings won't kill this, but I will pop the Divine Shield against one of those, so that in case he has a Ray Bleeder or some other buffing, only one thing gets buffed. So let's see if he plays Blessing of Kings. No, he's just going to play that. Squire attend me. It's fine. And here is where I'm just going to go ahead and swipe, I think. Yep. So we swipe that. Let's use the Druid of the Claw to kill off the 2-1. Unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to shapeshift to finish that off. We'll hit him in the face for 3. This is looking really, really good. I've taken pretty much no damage. I've board advantage, card advantage. It's looking great. So the Argent Commander is, of course, a problem because it kills the Druid, and then it also kills my Scarlet Crusader, which is sad. Shatterstone Cleric is not going to help with that. Let's go ahead and draw a card then. Swipe, good to know. Do I wrath this thing or do I claw it? Both have their merits and demerits. I will claw it. Just take it off the field. And the reason for that is I might want the card draw off the wrath. The Argent Commander was good though. It kind of brought him back into the game. If he now can clear my board and catch up with creatures of his own, he's got enough health that I'm not going to be able to burn him out. Okay, so I presume he's going to clear my board now, or else he wouldn't be playing the Questing Adventurer here. Nope. Okay, so this shows that he is actually desperate, because clearly I can take out his entire board here without any problems at all. So he wouldn't have done that unless he was like really desperate for things to do. Well, this is great now. What I can do is play Shatterstone Cleric to kill one of these. I can kill the other one like so. I can either play the Golem, which is sturdy, or this, which can heal that up. We're going to go ahead and heal this up. So I've got a nice beefy 3/5. It's like a 4-drop. Well, this is a 4-drop. It drew a card. But still, a 3/5 is like Ascension level dude, which is pretty decent. Harvest Golem is really not that threatening on turn 8. Nor is a Scarlet Crusader. Man, my opponent just does not seem to have a very good draw or a very good deck. One or the other is the case here. So what we're going to do here is the following. Going to do this. We'll shapeshift. Let's do that. We're going to swipe his face to clear the board. And we're going to hit him for 6 damage. I could claw his face and try to go for the burnout victory, but I'm not going to commit to that. Next turn I can play Ravenhold Assassin and Wrath, and I've got some minions here. Now the reason I didn't use this to kill the Golem is I wanted to keep one minion at a high health as possible. Alright, Mad Bomber makes me regret that decision. But the Mad Bomber whiffs on Earthen Ring Farseer. Why? Oh, that's right, because it's a shitty card. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Okay, anyway. The War Golem's big, but I've got plenty of health, so this is fine. I'm actually going to play the Ravenhold Assassin over the Ironbark, simply because this guy can't be messed with, and it gives me really great chances of, you know, burning out my opponent. I'm going to hit him, hit him, hit him, and let's go ahead and Wrath that Mad Bomber. He pretty much has to have Equality Consecration or Equality Avenging Wrath to have any chance of winning this game. And Equality would turn the War Golem's health down to 1, so that whereupon I could shapeshift it to death. Guardian of Kings is interesting. Now, if he has a Sunfury Protector, he could actually survive the game, but no, he has a Scarlet Crusader, so he loses now. He just didn't stop enough of my damage. I mean, this is 13 damage here, so I don't even need anything else. Ravenhold Assassin for the win. Well, that was a beatdown again, and I am so thrilled. Just thrilled beyond words that I said a deck was good, and it's actually good. Ah, man, I don't remember the last time I evaluated a deck, and then it was like, yeah, that totally was about as good as Boris thought it was. Great, 7-1. At this point, it's just a gravy train all the way down to Funky Town. I'm going to take a look at my stats. I had a really long cold streak, but then I got a little bit more of a hot streak, so I go in streaks, it seems. Let's take a look here. My percentage of making it to 7 wins is a stat that I look at, because obviously, if you know, 7 wins is pretty good to be able to get to. My computer is lagging. Come on, computer, you can do this. You can handle it. Oh, a shaman, that's new. Have not faced any shamans in this arena so far. As my computer dies trying to open the internet. Yeah, so I'm... Oh, geez, man, this is actually pretty embarrassing. 58 out of 118 for 7+. So I'm like 4 or 7 win runs behind. Yeah. I'm not going to get back up to 50% anytime soon, but at least this is helpful. Or helping. Let's go ahead and think carefully. I do want to keep the 2 and 3 drops. Do I keep this? Could be really great, or it could be terrible. I'll keep it, just because I haven't used it at all in this arena run. Nat says another GG. What else should I say? Nothing, man. Well, at least you could say, Boris, you're the greatest. Boris, I love you, and am jealous of the woman who will one day have your babies. You could say that. But, yeah, GG. GG will suffice. Mad Bomber. Well, this one I win, finally. Let's see if my opponent has a Rock Biter weapon or a Lightning Bolt. Not that concerned, because if he does kill this, I can just coin into the Keeper of the Grove and shoot the Mad Bomber to death and jump out to an early lead. Okay, it looks like my opponent does in fact have this. He makes a totem as well. 1/1 is actually kind of annoying, so I don't really want to take damage, but that's fine. I could play the Cobra here and then coin out the Druid of the Claw next turn, but might as well just play the Keeper of the Grove here and Cobra the following turn. I have all three of my swipes, which might make my opponent rage a little bit, because there's a good chance they all getting played. Two 4 is a pretty good body. It's like deceptively good. Paying 4 mana for a 2/4 seems really bad, but like a 2/4 body under some certain circumstances has so much objective value that it's actually worth doing. Alright, so I could of course play the Cobra here. It has a non-zero chance of surviving. If I swipe, I'm going down a card because this gave him a card and this is a totem. So yeah, we're going to go for it. We're going to play the Cobra. It's a little risky. Now, all he needs is a single point of damage and the No Mission Venture will kill the Cobra off. At least the No Mission Venture will also die in the process. But I figured that was better than using one of my swipes there. Well, that's a pretty good card for him. It enables him to kill off my Druid and apparently both of my minions. Oh, Earth Shock. So the Cobra lives, but it can't kill the Dwarf now. I don't know about this move, actually, on his part. I mean, I'm still killing the Gnomish Inventor. So yeah, we're going to play Druid of the Claw now. We'll see if he has a Hex. I have a feeling he does, just because Shamans often have Hexes when I play my fancy creatures. And I have not played anything else this game that would have made him use a Hex. Doesn't get a Taunt Totem. Does he get a Hex? Yep. Yep. Hepatitis? Oh, come on, you're killing me. The suspense is unbearable. He does not have a Hex! Oh my god, he doesn't have a Hex. Alright, so here's the issue. I could swipe the Dark Iron... Oh wait, no, this is easy. Never mind. Sorry guys, I'm dumb. This is very easy. So you have to Shapeshift and hit the Cult Master first. That way when you swipe the Dark Iron Dwarf, they both die at the same time, and there's no cards drawn. I will in fact sacrifice 4 damage to get that spell damage totem off the board, because this means that a Lava Burst would kill the Druid of the Claw and other nastiness that I don't want to deal with. So we'll leave it alone. Alright, so we got 5 cards to 5, plus I have a Druid of the Claw, and he doesn't have a Hex. He would have definitely played a Hex if he had one. I mean, playing the Cult Master there was just super lame. So he didn't have a Hex. That's incredibly good luck. Does he have an Overload card to make this not automatically die to the Druid of the Claw? He does. He has a Lightning Bolt, so this gets beefed up. It now survives Swipe. It also survives this guy. And will actually kill this guy. Okay, what's the situation here? Well, I think what I'm going to do is play Nazir Drake to draw a card. And now, interestingly, I could actually Wrath this for 2 damage. That's actually really good. Let's do that. Draw another card. Now I could kill this 1/1 and be all fancy. Let this kind of stand its ground against the Undead Elemental. A little bit risky, and I'm not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and kill it off. I don't see the point of taking those risks. I'm way ahead on cards. Swipe's going to kill this thing anyway. If he doesn't have removal from my Drake, Swipe will kill a lot more than just this totem too. It'll kill regular totems. He's going to silence it though, so no more spell damage, but that's actually fine. This will die to Swipe pretty easily now. It's a healing totem, whatever. Okay, my opponent's just slipping further and further behind. So, do we swipe this thing? I think so. I think that's worth it. Even though Swipe can do more than that, I am perfectly fine using Swipe as 1/1 removal when I'm this far ahead of my opponent. I think this is I don't know how many people know this, but this is, I think, a really useful concept. I've mentioned it a couple times in my videos. When you're ahead on cards, trading 1/1 is great. When you're behind on cards, trading 1/1 is bad. So what that means is that if you're a Druid and you're behind, there's more pressure for you to use your swipes for multiple to kill multiple targets. But if you're a Druid and you're ahead, using swipe 1 for 1 is perfectly great. There's no problem with that. Man, so many Acolytes of Pain today. Alright, so he's going to get some cards here. He's going to get 1 card off the Mana Tide, and he's going to get at least 1 off of the Acolyte. Unless, like, well, I've already used Keeper of the Grove, so there's no silencing for me. Alright, what we'll do is we'll play Ironbark and kill that Mana Tide. He demonstrated a little while ago not having a Hex, so unless he's top-decked one in the intervening time, that Ironbark is going to be murderously difficult for him to get rid of. Pretty much game-winningly difficult. This is the card he just top-decked. It better be a Hex, or he's completely out of luck. I mean, even if it is a Hex, I'm way ahead. Just way, way ahead with that Nourish and the fact that I'm already ahead on cards. I almost feel bad for this Shaman because he dropped an Earth Elemental, which is a great card, except that, you know, Ironbark Protector will kill it. So, yeah, there is that. Okay. I got a couple of options here. I could heal this to 8 and then kill the Earth Elemental and live to tell about it with just 1 health. I could, however, also swipe this, throw away my Silenced Azure Drake at it, Shapeshift to kill off the Stoneclaw Totem, and keep this thing at higher health total. I mean, my opponent clearly does not have Hex. So I'm going to do that because, well, see, what am I going to do after that? I'm going to Shapeshift at 6 mana. Ah, yes, I have actually enough mana to play the Gnomish Inventor for another card. So we'll do that first. Okay. So now we swipe. We kill. Shapeshift. We kill. And I'm not going to pass up 8 damage just to kill a healing totem. Let's just go ahead and kill him. So yeah, my opponent's in a lot of trouble here. This is threatening to kill him. And I've also got this for 2 damage, and this for 2 damage, and then this for extra cards if I need them for some inconceivable reason. Alright, I got the Taunt Totem, but I can kill it, so that's not a problem. Claw will kill it if need be. It's got a Lightning Storm, which does not kill the Gnomish Inventor, or the Ironbark. He's got a Bluegill Warrior, which does not kill the Ironbark, and it would kill the Gnomish Inventor, except that it's protected. So yeah, my opponent, from his standpoint, it makes sense what he's doing, but little does he know that I have manifold ways of getting past his humble Taunt Totem and winning the game. Wow, that was pretty savage beatdown, but you can kind of see the weakness of the Shaman class. Did you see how much he was relying on Hex? I think that guy either only had 1 Hex in the draft and never saw it, or he just had one of those unlucky Shaman drafts with no Hexes. I mean, you can see just how bad it is when you're a Shaman without Hex. He played Rockbiter Weapon, he had a Lightning Bolt, he had Lightning Storm even, which was a rare, but without a Hex, he could not take down a 6 toughness creature, GG. I mean, that's pretty much it. So, you know, what goes around comes around. Sometimes you're a Shaman and you play without any Hexes or Fire Elementals, and you get unlucky and lose, but other times you'll get lucky and win, so it's all fair. We get our 8th win, though. A very comfortable win, and we play... Oh, God. Another mage. Somewhere in the last week or so, there's a video of me saying that there aren't as many mages as there used to be, and I feel really dumb that that's on the internet, recorded for all time and eternity, because clearly that was a lie. There are frickin' ass tons of mages, and I am so sick of them. It cannot be overstated. Well, whatever. If we lose, we lose. Mage isn't even the class that beat me, actually. The class that beat me was Paladin. Okay, I could coin into Crocolisk. The reason to do that might be then so that if she plays something, I can Wrath to kill it. She's hovering over her Fire Blast, though, which makes me think that she doesn't have anything to do on turn 2, so I will take that as a read and not play a minion. Because if you're just going to Fire Blast, coining this out would have been stupid. I wouldn't have had anything to do this turn except for to Shapeshift. Okay, I actually... Wow. So this is like one of the most impressive things I've ever done. I actually used a sick read here to figure out that my opponent had nothing on turn 2. I was able to save myself a coin. Kimoko says, considering how it used to be like 80% mages, it really is less than it used to be. Well, the most mages you could ever have is 33%. Because that is like the most that, you know, mages can come up. Only 1 in 3 people actually see a mage. So I know it felt like 80% mages sometimes, but it was never really that bad. At most, it was 1 in 3 of your opponents. With that said, Yes, it's probably better than it used to be, but the way that it's become better is by having a lot of those mages be replaced by hunters, which is equally annoying, if not more so. So really things haven't improved that much at all. I have a handful of removal. I have actually all 3 of my wraths and 2 of my swipes, which is really ferociously terrible, because if my opponent does not give me anything to remove, and if she like just kills my creatures, let's say, I will be in a hell of a lot of trouble. Okay, we're about to do Wrath plus Shapeshift. I'd like to hang on to my swipes. I think hanging on to my swipes is more valuable to me than preserving the opportunity for card draw. Okay, so as long as she keeps playing minions, I'm down with that. I just don't want her to kill my minions. Let's say she were to play a Fen Creeper, that'd be pretty great. I use the Cobra to kill it, play my Silverhand Knight, we're a turn away from Flame Strike, things are looking pretty good. This coin, I have a feeling time's going to pass this coin by, but I could still use it potentially on turn 6 to coin out a Ravenhold Assassin if I were to draw that, or turn 7 coin out Ironbark. Could happen. Does she actually have a secret? Maybe. No. Okay. Whew. Is this a good time to swipe? Yeah, I think this is a good time to swipe. I mean, I could use Silverhand Knight. Crocalus kills the Loot Hoarder. Cobra kills that, but I want to keep this Cobra around. I mean, might as well. I think here's where I'll use the coin, actually, to play the Fairy Dragon in here before Flame Strike comes online. Beating her down for 2 damage a turn, a couple of times a turn, it really adds up. Yeah, I feel like that was worth it. I've got another swipe, and gets another minion onto the board. She seems not to have removal. I put the Fairy Dragon in the middle because that means she can't use Cone of Cold. She actually top-decked a secret the turn after she played a Kirin Tor Mage. And I will point out, she keeps on pinging my face. She really should be picking my creatures. You should always pick creatures. My guess for that must be that she's got a Flame Strike coming and doesn't want to, you know, ping stuff if it's going to die to Flame Strike anyway. So these creatures both unfortunately do die to Flame Strike. This one draws a card before it goes. But I really heavily smell a Flame Strike, so I'm just going to play around it. Alright, she has Ice Barrier, which is like the worst secret in the game. Well, okay, sorry, that's not the worst secret in the game. It's definitely the worst mage secret, though. So, she just went down a card here. And I'm going to, unfortunately, just pass the turn and Shapeshift. I mean, I'm prepared to tackle anything that she could drop at me. So, I'm okay with my little army here. Now she can Flame Strike to clear my board. She'll have 6 cards to my 6. I'll recoup by playing Silverhand Knight. Oh my god, I am reading this person like a book. Like a Kindle Fire. Alright, anyway, I don't need the spell damage right now or the card. So I would have put more power on the board. This is such a great card to drop onto an empty board. Alright, and now she doesn't really want to use Flame Strike against this. But she needs to play real minions. But if she plays real minions, I got answers. I got answers. She does have a lot of cards, though, so it's possible that just a really good combination of cards will be effective. Okay, so if the knife hits this, then she can... Oh, no, she can't ping it to death. She used up all of her mana. Yay! Savage Roar, huh? Okay, let's think. I could play the Azure Drake and Wrath the Knife Juggler and draw a card, but then I'm at a loss for killing the Scarlet Crusader, or sorry, the Sunwalker, which is not good. I could swipe her face, which would leave us with 1 health and pop off the Divine Shield. And then... it doesn't quite work. It just doesn't work. Okay, I could Shapeshift to kill this, swipe it, leave the Knife Juggler at 1 health, leave them both at 1 health. It doesn't really work either. Then, oh no, then I have enough mana left over to Wrath. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. We're going to do that. So let's Wrath first, draw a card. You should always draw cards first. Shattered Sun Cleric. Does that change anything? Let's me do this. I could kill that, use this to kill that. This would be at 1 health. Then it gets bitten off. It's actually better, though, than what I was planning to do. So yes, we're going to do this. And the reason this is better is because both my plans, everything was going to die, but this way I also got to sneak in a Harvest Golem into play. Okay. Well, I don't know if that was the absolute best thing I could have done, but I did manage to keep my removal and my spell damage in reserve. She's below 20 health. If she doesn't have a good turn here, I hit her, like, even with these 2 for 5 damage, she's in real great danger of being burned out. Let's see what she's got. She needs more taunt. Does she have more taunts? Awesome says, because people started to play around Flame Strike, then I then realized how average Mage actually is. You know, that's interesting. That could be what happened. That's definitely possible. My own personal opinion is that that's not it. I think that Flame Strike is so good, even if you quote unquote play around it, it's still just a really frustrating card. There's sometimes you just have to play into it. All my opinion, of course. Well, let's take a look. We can Savage Roar for 6 damage. 6 plus 5 is